This is Jackie Davidson and her husband, now starring at the Empire Room of the Waldorf Hotel, Golden Voice John Davidson. This is the flying nun Sally Field and her husband, Steve Craig. This is singing star Nanette Fabray and her husband, Randy McDougall. This is Joyce Ray and her husband, matinee idol Alejandro Ray. These four celebrity couples are here to play He Said, She Said. And now here's the song of He Said, She Said, Joe Garagiola.
Yeah, Johnny set it up where she should grab me, and when I went like that, you really were shocked, weren't you, man? Well, good to have all of you. Good to have all of you here.
Oh. Good day to you two.
Yeah, the beauty. We always like the beauty out here. Okay, now in the next half hour, we're going to see if your husbands can recognize you by the stories you're going to tell us about your married life. Now, your husbands are backstage, and they're beautiful, too. The only time they can hear us, we want them to like this. Hey, beautifuls, will you please press your buttons? Look at them. See that? There they are. Good. How you doing back there? Fine. Let up on the button a little bit. That's it. Good. Okay. Now, when you press that button, we see you on the screen. And from now on, anytime you want to talk to us, please press the button. Each of you is playing for a different married couple in our studio audience, and the winner will get a week's stay at a Holiday Inn. I'm going to cut you off now and talk to you a little bit later. So long. So long.
So long, so long.
Goodbye.
Goodbye.
Okay. Girls, I'm going to give you a topic. I want you to come up with an association so personal, when your husband hears it, knows it was you. Clues, 1 or 2 words. First topic. Worst thing that happened on your honeymoon. The worst. Look at here. Well, Nanette.
Well, I had been bragging to my husband that I was a good body surfer because he was a great body surfer. But I had thought that in California, those little one short waves that they have, you know, one wave comes in and breaks. I thought that was body surfing. I didn't really know what it meant. So we were in Hawaii on our honeymoon, and you have to swim out about half a mile to get where the breakers start to come in. And Randy was already out there surfing, and I hadn't been swimming in a long time. So I went swimming out, and I was half dead by the time I got to him, but I was not going to give up because I had been bragging what a good body surfer I was. And he was out there floating on top of the coral reef. Now, I don't know if anybody knows, but if you put your feet down on a coral reef, you get a terrible cut from it. So I swam out to him, and by the time I got there, I was half drowned, and I'm climbing on him. He says, well, honey, not now. Don't get romantic now. I said, blah, 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 you know, I'm almost drowning. And finally, he realized that I was drowning, and he called. It was so embarrassing. He called over a little tiny boy on a surfboard, and he said to the little boy, he says, would you mind wheeling my wife back in on your surfboard? And the little kid says, sure. So they stretched me out on the surfboard, and this little kid pushed me into shore, and I was so embarrassed because there I was being a show-off smarty that I could be a good body surfer, and I wasn't. Yeah. I would have to say that my clue is body surfing. I was drowning, you know.
Climbing up. Drowning.
I was there, you know. I was like, blah, 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 blah. He says, honey, don't get romantic now. So I would say body surfing.
All right, we've got your response. Let's see who was next. Jackie Davidson.
Well, ours...
Worst thing that happened on your honeymoon.
We honeymooned in Puerto Rico. That's where we got married. And John and I both scuba dive. And we were out, as a matter of fact, about the next day after we got married, we were in about 10 feet of water, and we saw what looked like a big antique ship's wheel down underneath the water. And so we thought, oh, a relic from some old ship. And we spent 2 hours dragging this 150-pound big wheel in, and I wrenched a shoulder, and John was, you know, a whole thing. We were both just dead tired, and we got up on the beach, and the lifeguard came over and said, oh, that's the sewer cover to the Caribe Hilton. We've been looking for it for 2 years. So I would say, and it really was. The sewer cover had somehow gotten, and it was and so I would say our key word would be,
sewer cover.
Can you say sewer cover?
Sure.
Is that all right to say
if
sewer
he doesn't
cover?
get that after all that work, sewer cover. All right, we've got your response. Sally Field. Worst thing that happened on your honeymoon.
I don't know, it's one of 2 things. Our honeymoon was a total disaster. It's either when we got married or when we got to Jamaica. Well, I'll tell you about when we got married. We got married in Las Vegas in this little tinsel town that could not be believed. It was all plastic and red. You know, it's just, and I was like in a satin pants outfit. You know, we were just like, oh well, who cares? And the judge was drunk, and he was going, and he was swaying like this. And Steve and I were hysterically laughing because we were going like this back and forth. And the man was going, and I hope that you guys will have a wonderful time with this whole. And we're going, okay. So all like when we got married, it was just so nonchalant. Steve said, yep, you know, and he said, would you take this woman or whatever it is? And Steve said, yep, and I said, sure enough, or something like that. So I guess our wedding, our honeymoon was really weird too. We went to Jamaica. I guess the bad time was there wasn't anybody there but a bunch of old folks, and we were going to go swimming, and it was really, really hot, and it was later in the afternoon, and there was these people out there with big blowguns, like spraying this white stuff, and we went, oh, look at what they're doing, isn't this funny? And all of a sudden, this massive, unbelievable clouds, literally of bugs, attacked us, and we had to run as fast as we could and dive in the water, and for about an hour, we just stayed in the water with our mouths out like this, because these bugs would attack you, and you'd lift your lips out, you know, and about 4 little mosquitoes would be on your lips. So which one is worse? I don't know.
Well, which one would be the easiest clue? I think the judge.
Okay, I'll say the drunk judge.
Drunk judge.
Wherever you are, Mr. Drunk Judge.
Okay, let's go backstage and see what happens. Hello there, backstage.
Hi.
Okay, press your button as soon as you recognize your wife, all right? We said the worst thing that happened on your honeymoon, and she said body surfing. Randy McDougal.
She tried to drown me. I've always wondered why. But I used to be a great body surfer. I'm sure she's told you. And I was out on a reef about a half-mile offshore, and she came out to join me and kept waving to me. I didn't know it at the time, but she was drowning. And
Randy, I'm going to stop you because she told it so well. That's
Did she tell you how she got back?
Yes, I told them.
With the little boy?
A little 7-year-old kid. He couldn't understand anybody drowning.
That's what she told us, so we gave him 25 points. Very good. Okay, we said worst thing that happened on your honeymoon, and she said drunk judge. Steve Craig.
I guess that could be considered our honeymoon, but it was the guy who married us that was drunk.
Yep.
The judge was the drunk guy.
It was him, all right.
That's what she told us. We thought there was more to the story. Evidently not. 25 points for
Nope,
you, Steve. She told us so well. We said worst thing that happened on your honeymoon, and she said sewer cover. Why are you laughing, John Davidson?
Because we didn't really spend a honeymoon. I married my wife while I was working in San Juan, Puerto Rico. And after we were married, we went snorkeling and scuba diving a lot. And we found what we thought was a relic down underneath the water. And it looked like the hatch to an old boat. Finally, we spent hours pulling this thing up, rolling it. Finally got on beach and found out it was a sewer cover to the hotel.
That's what she said.
And for days after that, my wife had pains in her back.
I did. I had a wrenched shoulder for about 2
And
months.
the doctor said, well, you just got married. You know, maybe that's adjusting to just being married or something. Which sounded a little weird.
We're going to give you the 25 points. Very good. That's pretty much what she said. Okay, more of He Said, She Said in just a moment. Right now, this message. New topic for the ladies. That was a good one, the last one. Okay, I'm anxious to hear this one. This is the new topic, based on what he told you, what he was like as a little boy. What was he like as a little boy? Based on what he told you. Sally Field.
Oh, well, first of all, he was real fast. He was a really fast runner, and his mother used to tie him to the clothesline so that he couldn't run too far. And he had a long enough rope, and he used to run around in circles for a long, long time just to tie him to the clothesline.
So what's going to be your clue?
Tied to the clothesline.
Tie? Clothesline?
Strapped to the clothesline.
Strapped to the clothesline.
I don't know what clothesline is one word, right?
Okay, yeah.
Tie is another. Tie.
Tie to.
Unto. That's one word. Unto. U-N-T-O. Clothesline.
Sally, I'm a nice guy. You just give me 3 words, I'll make them 2. Tie to clothesline?
Yeah.
Is that what you want?
That's what I want.
That's what you got. Tie to clothesline. Because tie unto clothesline, I sound like I'm doing Billy Graham or something. Okay, based on what he told you, what was he like as a little boy, Jackie?
John comes from a minister's family. And who laughed out there? Somebody went, that's terrible. John's father is a minister, and he's always, and in fact, in his nightclub act, he always says, I was a real goody-goody when I was a little boy, so I would just say, goody-goody.
Goody-goody.
Goody-goody boy.
Goody-goody boy.
Isn't that terrible? He'll kill me.
Goody-goody boy. Is he still a goody-goody big boy?
No.
Oh. Okay, we've got that. Let's see, who is next here? Joyce. Alejandro, based on what he told you.
When he lived, of course, he grew up in Argentina, and he started working as a very young child, and he tells me these tales about how hard he worked. So I would say he used to sit in his kindergarten class and make these little insulators. I'm not too sure what an insulator is, but it's some kind of wire thing. And he would sit underneath his desk while he was listening to his lessons and make these things and sell them on the side. And then he worked as all these different jobs. And it's just amazing. So he was an early worker.
Early worker? Sure, I saw him in a commercial with Ex La Gente or whatever that guy. Isn't it him, the little boy? Okay, so what's your clue going to be now?
Early worker.
Early worker. He tells
Have
you
you ever heard of anybody working at age 6? No.
age 6? Let's hear him tell it. I bet it's interesting when he tells it. Let's go backstage and see. Hello, fellas. Are you all set to play?
Yes, Joe.
Okay, remember to press your button now and you recognize your wife, all right? We said, based on what he told you, what was he like as a little boy? And she said, goody boy. John Davidson.
Everybody kids me about being a goody-goody. My dad is a Baptist minister, and everybody, kids me about that. And they say, oh, the wildest thing you ever saw was occasionally used to glance through the African section of National Geographic.
Oh, that's pretty wild.
And I guess I told... No, but I mean, meaning that you never saw the real thing.
We're going to give you 25 points, John. Very good. That's pretty much what she said. Okay. We said, based on what he told you, what he was like as a little boy, and she said, early worker. Alejandro, whoa, we got two of them. Let's see, who was first? Alejandro Ray, I thought so.
Okay, do you have violins for this story?
Yes.
We need some background
I'm going to
music.
give you background music, all
But I
right?
did started working when I was very, very young, 5 years old, to tell you the truth. So that's why I don't work at all today.
What were you doing at 5?
Different things. I used to do things to put in the wires and the electricity wires, and I used to deliver things for the laundry. You see, that's why we pay so much money now to the laundry bills. And,
Alejandro, that's what Joyce told us, that you were a very early worker making insulators. We're going to give you 25 points. Beautiful. We said, based on what he told you, what he was like as a little boy. And she said, tie to clothesline. Steve Craig.
Yes, well, my mother had this thing of putting a rope of a certain length on my body and attaching the other end to a clothesline so I could run around and not get lost. Now
And I still do that.
So does my mother. I'm still on the clothesline.
That's what she told us. We're going to give you the 25 points. Very good, Steve. Perfect round. All right, fellas. We've reached the halfway point in our game. It's time for you to change places with your wives. So would you come out on stage, please?
Promotional consideration furnished by National Airlines with nonstop service Miami to London. National says you're going to have a great flight.
Now let's meet these husbands.
And here they are. Here comes Alejandro Ray, and the Rays have 25 points. Next is Randy McDougall. The McDougalls have 25. Here's Steve Craig. The Craigs have 50 points, and John Davidson. The Davidsons have 50 points, Joe.
Okay, John, we're going to see how good the wives are at recognizing their husbands in just a moment. Right now, this message. On stage, we have with us Alejandro Ray, and the Rays have 25 points. This is Randy McDougall, and the McDougalls have 25 points. Here is Steve Craig, and the Craigs have 50 points. This is John Davidson, and the Davidsons have 50 points. Good close ball game. All right, your wives are backstage. Remember, we pray for a different couple from our studio audience. The winner's prize a week stay at a Holiday Inn. New topic. How you can tell when another man attracts her. How you can tell when another man attracts her. How you can tell when another man attracts her. Randy?
She says so.
She says so.
Yeah. We've been married a long time.
So she just tells you.
She just tells me that's very attractive.
Doesn't bother you at all.
It's usually Cary Grant. And I hardly blame her.
So your clue's going to be, she says
so.
She says so. All right, we've got your response. Alejandro, how can you tell when another
he
man
beat me
attracts
to it, but it's very much the similar thing. Every time she likes somebody, it's just very handsome, very nice. So I will say very handsome.
Very handsome.
That's the what she usually uses. Adorable sometimes. Adorable.
Adorable will be
yeah.
your clue?
Yeah.
Doesn't bother you, huh? When she says that?
No, I'm too busy hitting her.
Okay, we've got your response. Let's see, John.
I think silence would be my cue. I think she kind of doesn't look at him and kind of is very quiet about him. I think silence. I can't
doesn't-
remember a specific instance, but it seems to me she's very quiet and doesn't really talk to him very much and is just very aware of his presence.
When she...
We've only been married a year, though, so she's pretty much, we're, So I think silence.
Okay, All right.
I'm afraid you won't get that, but I'll try.
Okay, we'll try it, John. Let's go backstage and see what happens. Girls, y'all set back there?
Yes, yeah.
Okay, press your button now and you recognize your husband.
I always recognize my husband. That's why I press my button.
Okay, so I'll wipe you off. Jackie, do you have a reason?
Oh, no.
Oh, you just pressed your button to be around, huh?
Yeah, I just was testing.
Okay, all right. We said to the men out here how you can tell when another man attracts her. And he said, she says so. how you can tell when another man attracts her, he said, she says so. Joyce Ray.
Well, you know, not really attract, but when we're watching television or something and I think someone's handsome or good looking or whatever, I say so.
Joyce, it wasn't Alejandro who says she says so. I'll have to take 10 points from you. I'll have to ask Nanette Fabray.
I had a feeling it was me, but because I say, oh, isn't he darling, isn't he gorgeous? But you're prettier, dear, you're prettier. But I was just late.
You were, and I'll have to take 10 points from you, Nanette. Okay, we said how you can tell when another man attracts her, and he said adorable. Joyce Ray.
Well, I'm really losing points here, I'm afraid, but adorable is one of my favorite words, and I really do overuse it, but I describe everything as adorable, and especially cute men.
That's what he said. We're going to give you 25 points. See, you made 15 points on the exchange. Very good. We said how you can tell when another man attracts her, and he said silence. Silence.
Oh, I had to think about that one.
She was silent. You better watch out, John.
That's right. I usually just don't say anything at all. I just kind of look.
How did she do that? Honey, that's right.
Well, of course I'm always right.
John, I want to... Very good. I'll tell you, John, to play this game well now, you're going to have to get out of your shell. I mean,
what do you mean?
I mean, you can't show all that excitement, boy.
Oh,
that was beautiful.
I want to win now.
You do.
I haven't won a game yet. We've been here 3
points.
days.
You're going to win. You're bearing down. Okay, let's go on to another topic. All right, new topic. 2 responses this time. We said, a time she was frightened. A time she was frightened. Alejandro.
But we should say we were frightened.
We?
Yeah, I'm not too much of a, you know, my religion is a coward. And we came back from a trip, or went back from a trip to our home, and we had ordered our house, to the front, to be painted. So they did, and they stuck the bell, the bell ring, right? You said the bell? And the doorbell.
Doorbell, yeah.
And it was like 3 or 4 o'clock in the morning, and all of a sudden the bell started to sound. And she said, somebody's at the door. And I said, oh, 3 o'clock in the morning, who can be there? So I went back to sleep, and 10 minutes later again, so I started to say, who's there? Oh, is somebody about to kill me? Please tell me. So, but I didn't open the door. I called the police, and the police said to me, well, we don't open the door when somebody is ringing the bell to you. You have to go there and open the door, and I did, and when nobody was there.
They wouldn't even come around.
No, there was the paint had stuck the bell, and it was just ringing by itself.
So what's going to be your
doorbell?
Doorbell. All right, doorbell. Who was next here? Randy. A time she was frightened.
We were driving up to BUZZR, which, if you don't know the area, is a kind of a precipitous road along the mountainside. And it had been raining very hard, and a huge rock slide landed on the road ahead of us and then on the road behind us. So I got out of the car and started moving stone faster than they do in New York. I moved about 2 tons of huge rocks to get our car out of there, and she sat in the car all that time.
So what's going to be your clue, John, before we run out here?
BUZZR.
Randy?
BUZZR.
BUZZR? All right, let's go and see if they get it. Y'all set back there, girls?
Yes, we are.
Press your button now and you recognize your husband. We said a time she was frightened, and he said doorbell. Joyce Ray.
Oh, this is an incredible story. It just happened not long ago, just after we'd been in New York, and I couldn't believe it. Of course, I'm the one that always hears the noises in the house, and Alejandro goes with great trepidation. I have to push him into the front room to check
We're going to run out of time. You got to give me a quick one.
Okay, a quick rundown. Okay, we came back from New York, and I got in bed, and it was about 4 o'clock in the morning, and I heard the doorbell ring.
That's enough.
And so I woke him up.
I'm going to give you the 25 points. Okay, I wanted you to get it. He told us the story. We said a time she was frightened, and he said BUZZR. BUZZR. Nanette.
Oh, that has to be me. We were driving up to the BUZZR.
That's enough. I'll give you the 25 points. Good. I didn't want to run out of time. We want to get our final scores, meet our big winners, but right now, this message.
All right, we have the winner with 75 points, Joe. The winners are the Davidsons, and in the audience, they're playing for Mr. and Mrs. James Cooney of Falmouth, Connecticut. Congratulations. Today, there are more than 1,200 Holiday Inns everywhere. Planning a trip, go with the goers to the Holiday Inn.
We just have time to tell you goodbye. Bye.
This is Johnny Olson.